everyone, this is Nishtha from Nish Online Interior Design, Paint Color Consultation and Home Decor Content Writing. So today I'm going to be talking about one of my absolute favorite topics to talk about and also one of the reasons why most of my clients reach out to me for. So we've already talked about 12 best Benjamin Moore white paint colors, blue greens, beiges, taupes, greys. We've actually immensely talked about all of these paint colors, and today I'm going to be specifically talking about what are the whole house paint colors and what are the best 12 Benjamin Moore whole house paint colors that you can choose for your home. So let's get started. So, whether you're looking to completely revamp your home and paint all the common spaces of your home, or is it a completely new build, choosing the best whole house paint color can be quite tricky. I mean, firstly, this is one paint color that is running around in all the common walls and stairways and hallways of your home. When I talk about a whole house color, it means that a common wall color. So when I talk about a whole house color, that actually means one common wall color in your living, dining, especially if it's an open concept layout. So it's your living, dining, maybe your family room, your foyer, stairways, hallways, and also the adjoining living areas of probably your basement or upper floors out there. So when we are there to choose the best whole house color, there are quite a few considerations that you need to take care of. Firstly, you really need to understand the square footage of your home and the amount of natural light that enters in your space. So a whole house color is some way a main character of your home. So you're walking into your foyer and your living. So this whole house color is what actually defines your design style, and even in a way it defines your color palette as well. And then in certain bedrooms and bathrooms we go personal and maybe add personal touches of accents, wall, etc. But this whole house color has to be quite timeless, quite sophisticated and versatile, that it can go and flow along really well with in various areas of your home with various hardwood textures and metallic finishes and so on. And while I talk about whole house, we also can't forget the kitchen cabinets, because most of these open concept layouts have adjoining kitchen cabinets as well. So when you choose the best whole house paint color, you have to consider if your space is small or large. I mean, how light or dark you can choose a paint color to be. You also have to think about the compass directions, like if you have a north facing wall, or if you have a south facing, or maybe you can have 2 or 3 compass directions or windows that are facing multiple compass directions out there, and you have different kinds of lighting entering from here and there. And then what are the undertones, and what is your hardwood flooring, or maybe you have an exposed brick wall or a stone wall in your living, and so on. So in my today's video, I'm going to be talking about 12 best Benjamin Moore whole house paint colors that are simply a no-fail solution. I mean, you can absolutely use these paint colors without a doubt. They are a no-fail solution, and I'm going to be discussing about which paint color can work best with which kind of open concept layout and interior design style as well. Generally, these whole house paint colors can vary from being a clean white to warmer whites to slightly cooler tone whites. I mean, if you want some depth to your walls, you can even go with lighter greiges, lighter beiges, and even lighter taupes. If you like a cooler tone color palette, you can experiment with warmer greys and even cool tone grey paint colors out there. But apart from these colors, I would highly doubt that some other paint color would work well in a open concept layout, unless you have a coastal or a beach house where paint colors like green greys and blue greys can also work well. So before I move ahead with my list of 12 best Benjamin Moore whole house paint colors, let's first address one of the most commonly asked questions by homeowners, and that is, what is the most popular whole house paint color by Benjamin Moore? Well, in my books, I don't generally have like one color name as the best whole house color, but there are quite a few that I like to recommend to my e-design and color consultation clients out there. So I personally love the look of white dove, Simply White or Swiss Coffee when it comes to warmer tone color palettes and clients who want a warmer vibe in their home. Now, if they want certain depth to their walls, I also like to recommend Pale Oak, Balboa Mist, which are equally good. Now, if you want a cooler tone color palette, some of the popular choices can be Paper White or even Grey Owl in that situation. Now, the second most asked question is, what is the best whole house paint color idea? Well, regardless of your interior design style or the square footage of your home, let me tell you, whites are definitely a no-fail solution. So whether it comes to creamy whites or neutral whites, these paint colors can be quite versatile, quite timeless, quite sophisticated, and can work best for a variety of hardwood textures, interior design styles. And if you want to add some personal touches like a stone-cladded wall, or maybe you want to have exposed brick, maybe you want to have some certain type of furniture or accents or bolder accents or artwork in your home, whites will always prove to be a no-fail solution. So now that we've talked about these commonly asked questions, let's get started with my list of 12 best Benjamin Moore whole house paint colors, and the first paint color on my list is Benjamin Moore Swiss Coffee. Benjamin Moore Swiss Coffee is a bright and creamy off-white paint color with just the right amount of warmth. With an LRV of 81.91, this subtle off-white paint color can play a classic role when used as a whole house color. Now, Benjamin Moore Swiss Coffee is a definite go-to solution if you like a warmer vibe in your home. This paint color can showcase a tinge of yellow or green undertone under certain lighting conditions, but nothing major or dominant though. So before you start painting those walls, I would recommend that you apply a fresh coat of these paint colors on the walls, or maybe have those peel and stick samples and actually analyze how a certain color can come off in your spaces, because let me tell you, these colors are quite chameleon and they can appear different in different lighting conditions. So Swiss Coffee is a great option if you want to go with a warmer vibe, and at the same time, if you don't want a very muted warm white but rather a slightly brighter color which can even illuminate your dull corners, or if you have a smaller space, then Swiss Coffee can definitely work well in this situation. You can either choose to use Swiss Coffee on the ceilings, trims and moldings as well. In that case, the yellow or the green undertone will also not come dominant. But if you like the slightest touch of contrast between your ceilings, trims and walls, then you can go with Chantilly lace or even Sherwin-Williams Pure White. You can check out my latest pre-packaged Benjamin Moore Swiss Coffee color palette for the whole house here on Etsy as well as my website. Now, the next paint color on my list is Benjamin Moore Classic Grey. Benjamin Moore Classic Grey is a soft and feathery off-white paint color with deep, warm grey undertones. With an LRV of 73.67, this neutral Benjamin Moore paint color can work wonderfully in low light rooms and many other compass directions. It has a considerable depth and can work extravagantly in rooms that receive ample incoming natural light. So let's see, if you don't want a warm or a creamy toned whole house paint color and you would rather want to have a timeless neutral that is slightly on the neutral to cooler side, but at the same time does not feel very frosty or icy, in that case classic grey can work phenomenally. Now, with this paint color, I would recommend that you go with Chantilly lace on your ceilings, trims and moldings. Also, I would suggest that you use this paint color in a whole house color or an open concept where there is considerable amount of incoming natural light. Now, you can check out my latest pre-packaged Benjamin Moore Classic Grey color palette for the whole house here on Etsy as well as my website. Now, the next paint color on my list is Benjamin Moore Revere Pewter. One of the best neutral warm Benjamin Moore whole house paint colors, Revere Pewter is a light to medium tone greige that can work wonderfully as a whole house color. Especially for larger homes and homes that receive ample incoming natural light, this classic and timeless greige paint color can exude sophistication and a modern touch. Now, Revere Pewter has an LRV of 55.05, which means that it is considerably darker than the above mentioned colors. It's not a lighter greige as well. I would say that it's somewhere along the lines of light to being medium toned. So Revere Pewter is only a good option for traditional homes. If you have a rustic style, then definitely a yes. And just allow ample incoming natural light to enter your common spaces if you're planning to use Revere Pewter. because let me tell you, this color is slightly on the medium side, and if you have low incoming natural light, this color can make your space feel smaller, dingier, and even flat under certain lighting conditions. Now with Revere pewter, I would recommend that you either go with white dove, simply white, or even Chantilly lace on the ceilings, trims and moldings. You can check out my latest pre-packaged Benjamin Moore Revere pewter color palette for the whole house here on Etsy as well as my website. Now the next paint color on my list is Benjamin Moore Paper White. Now if you're looking for a cooler toned white paint color, and if you're just done with these warmer paint colors and greiges and beiges, and you want a super clean grey paint color that also doesn't dominate your space, then Paper White is definitely something to check out. Now this is a cool tone, clean and crisp off-white paint color with considerable blue-grey undertones. It's a refreshing, sleek and light off-white paint color that can work wonderfully in your south-facing rooms and rooms that receive excessive warmth. Now with an LRV of 74.41, we know that this color falls on the medium to lighter end of the scale and can be used as a whole house color. Now Benjamin Moore Paper White can come off slightly cool, icy and frosty, so I highly recommend that you use this paint color only in warmer areas or rooms that receive ample warmth to counteract with the incoming warm sunshine. Secondly, this color is ideal for southern states that are generally warm and the temperature goes around 90 degrees over there. Thirdly, this paint color must be either paired with Benjamin Moore Oxford White or Chantilly lace on the ceilings, trims and moldings for the best result. Now you can check out my latest pre-packaged Benjamin Moore Paper White color palette for the whole house here on Etsy as well as my website. Now the next paint color on my list is Benjamin Moore Chantilly lace. Benjamin Moore Chantilly lace is a bright, clean and crisp white paint color with almost no undertones. This is one of the brightest white paint colors by Benjamin Moore and can be duplicated on the walls, trims, ceilings as well as moldings. So whether your space receives very low incoming natural light or if you have a very small home, this clean, stark, crisp and bright white paint color is bound to eliminate your dull corners. So especially if you're dealing with square footage issues and you want to brighten up your home and you don't want a white to have any noticeable undertones, then Chantilly lace can work the best in such situations. This paint color has an LRV of 93, which means that it's super light, super bright and definitely the whitest white paint color available by Benjamin Moore. You can check out my latest pre-packaged Benjamin Moore Chantilly lace color palette for the whole house here on Etsy as well as my website. Now the next whole house paint color is my absolute favorite. So for all those homeowners who love a softer and warmer look in their home and the common areas, do check out Benjamin Moore White Dove. Benjamin Moore White Dove is one of the best whole house paint colors. This is a classic warm white paint color that will add a touch of coziness and elegance to the home. Regardless of the design style and compass direction, this whole house paint color can work timelessly. Now Benjamin Moore White Dove has an LRV of 83.16, which means that it falls on the lighter end of the scale. I mean, it's not a super and clean and bright white like Chantilly lace, and at the same time it has the perfect sense of muted warmth to it that can make any common space or any home feel just so inviting and welcoming and timeless. Moreover, this warm white isn't too warm as well. I mean, the yellow undertones are not dominant, so it feels quite muted. Furthermore, you can best pair this paint color with your red exposed brick, with your black windows and most of the hardwood textures out there. Now you can check out my latest pre-packaged Benjamin Moore White Dove color palette for the whole house here on Etsy as well as my website. Now the next paint color on my list is Benjamin Moore Grey Owl. Benjamin Moore Grey Owl is an off-white paint color with considerable grey undertones. This Benjamin Moore whole house paint color is only ideal if you have cool tone furnishings, finishes and existing architecture elements in your home. Now with an LRV of 64.51, I'd recommend using this paint color in south and west facing open concept layouts that receive ample incoming natural light. Now Benjamin Moore Grey Owl is quite different from Benjamin Moore Paper White. Now Paper White was more frosty and icy and cooler toned. Grey Owl is also another grey neutral, but it has just the tiniest touch of warmth to it. I mean, it's not a super warm grey as well. It is a stormy grey, lighter tone stormy grey color, but definitely doesn't feel very icy or frosty. So I would recommend that you avoid pairing very warm furnishings with it. I mean, avoid creamy white colors to go with this paint color, or yellow oak, honey oak cabinets, your pine furnishings and everything. So avoid those warmer tone furnishings and finishes with this color, and rather pair this paint color with Chantilly lace on the ceilings, trims and moldings for the best result. Now you can check out my latest pre-packaged Benjamin Moore Grey Owl color palette for the whole house here on Etsy as well as my website. Now the next paint color on my list is Benjamin Moore Calm. Benjamin Moore Calm is a soft and feathery off-white paint color with a touch of grey and violet undertones. This soothing shade of white paint color will readily make your space feel calming and refreshing. With the barest hint of taupe and brown undertones, this Benjamin Moore neutral paint color showcases warmth. Now, Benjamin Moore Calm has an LRV of 75.83, which means that it falls on the lighter end of the scale. It's not too bright, but it can create a considerable contrast with your Chantilly lace or super clean white ceilings, trims and moldings. So if you're not particularly driven to a very cool toned white, or a very creamy or yellow based or warm white out there, then paint colors like Benjamin Moore Calm can play a really nice role. I mean, if you're drawn towards taupe, and let's say if you have red oak hardwood furnishings in your home, then Benjamin Moore Calm can work wonderfully. Now you can check out my latest pre-packaged Benjamin Moore Calm color palette for the whole house here on Etsy as well as my website. Now the next paint color on my list is Benjamin Moore Pale Oak. Benjamin Moore Pale Oak is a versatile neutral warm grey paint color with considerable taupe undertones. With an LRV of 68.64, this neutral paint color by Benjamin Moore can work beautifully in transitional and modern homes. Yes, this is also one of the best Benjamin Moore whole house paint colors if you don't prefer a clean white look. Now, if you have those red toned maple, mahogany or cherry hardwood cabinets, hardwood flooring or maybe exposed beams out there, then pale oak can work wonderfully in such situations. Pale oak is a very calming, lighter tone, greige based taupe paint color that feels just so refreshing. So let's say if you're not particularly mesmerized with the white house look in your open concept layouts and you would rather have some sense of depth to the walls, then pale oak can truly work wonderfully. Now with this color, I would recommend that you choose Chantilly lace or Sherwin-Williams pure white on the ceilings, trims and moldings. Avoid very warm off-white paint colors like white dove or simply white or ballet white with this paint color, because the yellow undertone of those warm white paint colors can pop off. You can check out my latest pre-packaged Benjamin Moore Pale Oak color palette for the whole house here on Etsy as well as my website. Now the next paint color on my list is Benjamin Moore Ballet White. Benjamin Moore Ballet White is a warm white paint color with considerable depth and chroma. So if you're looking for a classic warm white paint that isn't too bright and can sometimes cater to a yellow or green undertone, this is definitely something to have an eye on. Now, Ballet White has an LRV of 71.97, which means that it has considerable depth to it. I would classify this color under the dirty, cream, off-white paint colors and like a medium toned or a darker off-white paint color that has a dominant yellow undertone. So let's say if you have an American Southwest style home or a Tuscan home or a Bohemian style interior design style, or maybe you have craftsmen and you want the white to showcase some sense of depth and a yellow undertone, then Ballet White is definitely something to have an eye on. You must pair it with Chantilly lace on the ceilings, trims and moldings for the major contrast. But if you don't want a major contrast out there, you can even try on white dove or simply white on the ceilings and trims. You can check out my latest pre-packaged Benjamin Moore Ballet White color palette for the whole house here on Etsy as well as my website. Now the next paint color on my list is Benjamin Moore Balboa Mist. If you're looking for a timeless and sophisticated whole house greige paint color, then do check out Balboa Mist by Benjamin Moore. This is a perfect blend of beige and grey with deep taupe undertones. This versatile Benjamin Moore whole house paint color is a muted greige and can work for smaller or even larger sized homes. Now this paint color has an LRV of 65.53, which means that it has some depth to it, but it definitely feels much light and airy otherwise. Let's say if you have moldings in your common spaces and your stairways, and if you have crown molding, and if you have wainscoting, then you can even choose to add an accent of Balboa mist on such structures, and then add ceilings, trims and moldings in Chantilly lace. Now you can check out my latest pre-packaged Benjamin Moore Balboa mist color palette for the whole house here on Etsy as well as my website. Now the last paint color on my list is Benjamin Moore Edgecomb grey. Now Benjamin Moore Edgecomb grey is my absolute favorite when it comes to a whole house color scheme. If you're not fond of the whites, if you're not fond of the greys, if you don't want a yellow undertone, if you don't want a grey undertone, if you don't want something more taupe-ish, you don't want green, you don't want blue undertones, then Edgecomb grey is my go-to solution. This is a neutral warm greige paint color that offers the perfect versatility when pairing with other finishes and architectural elements. This warm, comforting and cozy neutral is quite timeless and can blend in with any style and decor. Now this is a no-fail solution if you're looking for the best Benjamin Moore whole house paint color. Now Edgecomb grey has an LRV of 63.09. That means that you must allow considerable amount of natural light to enter, but not majorly though. You can use this paint color as a whole house color scheme in the common spaces of your transitional homes, modern homes, contemporary homes, modern farmhouse style, eclectic homes and much more. Secondly, this paint color pairs perfectly with Chantilly lace or Sherwin-Williams pure white on the ceilings, trims and moldings. And since Benjamin Moore Edgecomb grey definitely lacks any undertones, you can go with this paint color with any hardwood texture without worrying about any sneaky undertones. Now you can check out my latest pre-packaged Benjamin Moore Edgecomb grey color palette for the whole house here on Etsy as well as my website. So what are your thoughts on my list of 12 best Benjamin Moore whole house paint colors? Well, did you like any? Well, do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you want a certain other suggestion of a whole house paint color depending on your style and your space, do leave your comments in the comment box below and I will definitely reach out to you. Apart from these colors, I mean, there are tons and tons of other best whole house paint colors as well, but in my books these are the most neutral colors that you can ever go with. Secondly, don't forget to check out my website at www.nishtasadhana.com. I've added the links in the description box below, and my Etsy shop which has tons and tons of Benjamin Moore, Sherwin-Williams and Behr color palettes. You can find interior color palettes, exterior color palettes. You can also find kitchen cabinet colors, front door colors and exterior colors. Lastly, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel as I'm coming up with these color related and interior design related videos every Monday. Bye.